Picture this, you just closed your first lead broker deal. You found a buyer who's ready to buy leads, and you found a really good supplier to work with. Everything is lined up, leads are about to start flowing in, and you're excited. But then you realize something. You don't actually have a system to manage any of this. So you do what every new broker does. You set up a Google Sheet, maybe a Zapier or Go High Level Automation, and you figure you'll just make it work for now. There's one mistake almost every new broker makes in their first 30 days that silently eats their profit. And most of them don't catch it for months. I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is and how to avoid it. But first, let me walk you through the 5 biggest problems brokers run into without the right software, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Rafael Hernandez, and I've managed over 10 million in ad spend, worked with brands like Neil Patel's NP Digital and Ubersuggest, and spent 5 years as a software engineer at Microsoft before building my ad agency, Great Marketing AI, where we use the latest AI-powered marketing strategies to deliver real results. I also built a lead distribution platform, so I see this from the agency side and on the software side. So let's get into it. Why lead brokers should use a lead distribution software. Here's the problem. You're a broker and you're working with all of these different suppliers, maybe supplier A, supplier B, supplier C. You have all of these different requirements from different buyers. Maybe buyer 1 has specific fields that they need, and buyer 2 has a separate way that they want you to send the leads to them, whether it's email, a webhook to their CRM, whatever that is, right? And here's a few issues right off the bat. Duplicate detection, how are you gonna handle that? Making certain fields required from your supplier so that you have all the right data and that you're validating that those leads are legit, and tracking your profitability in real time. If not, you're gonna spend all this time copying, pasting data into Google Sheets to understand if you're actually even profitable. So problem number 1, the Google Sheet graveyard. Once you start working with multiple suppliers and multiple buyers, it gets messy really fast. You have to manage these Google Sheets, and maybe all of this data is getting sent to a master sheet, and you want your buyers to update that master sheet. And then here comes the question, how are you going to manage returns? Do you have a return policy? Do you don't? If you do have a return policy, then your buyers are going to manually update your master sheet, and then you have to go talk to your supplier, and it gets really messy really fast. The other issue is you have no idea if you're making money or losing it. Problem number 2 is the profitability blind spot. Here's what you think. You sell a lead for 200, you buy it for 120, and you make an $80 margin. Here's what actually happens. You sell a lead for 200, you buy it for 120, but maybe that lead is a duplicate. So you actually bought a lead that was a duplicate. Your buyer ended up not paying for that lead because they don't buy duplicates, because your buyer is probably working with all of these other different lead vendors. So maybe that lead is already in their system. They're going to come back at you and say, hey, we already have this lead in our system. It's a duplicate. We're not going to pay for this. So that's a negative 120. Or your buyer might return that lead. That's a negative 120 or 200, right? Or your buyer might return that lead based on your return policy. Maybe that lead was a bad number. It was literally a spam 555555 number. They're going to return that lead, but you could have caught that right off the bat if you had a lead distribution software that can catch things like that. Or maybe that lead was blocked. So your supplier sent you that lead, you bought it for 120, you sent it over to your buyer, but your buyer blocked that lead because it was missing a specific field that they need to make that lead valid on their end, right? So you run into all of these issues unless you have a actual system and software that can solve these problems. And here's another thing you really need is you really need a way to compare your suppliers side by side. Supplier A might have sent you 200 leads. There was 5 duplicates that got caught. 42 of those converted at a 21% conversion rate, and your profit per lead was $85. Or supplier B might have sent you 180, but 22 of those were actually duplicates. 18 converted at 10% conversion rate, and your profit per lead was actually negative $31. And supplier C, 150, 3 duplicates, 35 conversions, 23, and 92 profit per lead. So now you can easily see which supplier is actually profitable for you and which supplier is actually converting better for you. And you need a way to easily do this. And our software, Lead Distro AI, actually has this for you and solves this for you. Problem number 3, duplicate detection. So supplier A sends you John Smith, supplier B sends you John Smith. Our lead distribution software can match those contacts and catch those duplicates before they even reach you. Google Sheets and Zapier have 0 duplicate detection. And this is really important because these different suppliers are running ads or generating these leads. John Smith might see supplier B's ads and sign up. And then John Smith might also see supplier A's sign up. And now you're paying for that lead twice. You could have caught that with a lead distribution software. And With Lead Distro AI, you can configure the different time windows and different settings and how you match different fields. This will automatically save you time and money. Problem number 4, are your suppliers sending complete data? So you're working with all of these suppliers, right? You need a way to make specific fields required. Maybe your buyers need to know the leads have an attorney or the injury type, or maybe they require a TrustedForm certificate, which we'll kind of talk about in a little bit. You need a way to be able to block your suppliers from sending leads that don't have all the required fields that your buyers need. So if your supplier sends you a lead with a missing field, the lead gets blocked and you never pay for that lead because you could have never sold it to your buyer in the first place, right? And it tells the supplier, hey, this lead got blocked because you're missing XYZ, right? So your buyers always get complete and billable, usable leads. This part is huge. Problem number 5 is the buyer experience. So ask yourself, which broker would your buyers rather work with? If they don't have a software and they're using shared Google Sheets and they have to manually ask you for returns, right? Or they leave a note in the Google Sheet, it's not really automated. And then they have to email or text you, how many leads do I have left? And if they're asking for returns, it's all manual and it doesn't look very professional. But instead, the other side is you have a dedicated buyer portal for your clients. It's branded with your logo. They can update the lead statuses in the dashboard. They can see their balance, how many leads they got sent, how many leads they have left. They can submit returns with one click and leave notes, and you can see it on your end, approve it, deny it, and it looks like a real operation. And let me actually just give you a sneak peek of what that looks like. So in Lead Distro, you go in here, you have all your clients here, right? So these are all your clients. They have a portal. So if I go over here, you can activate the portal. And if I click preview portal, let me show you what this looks like. Your buyers log in here. They can see all of the leads, all the data for that lead. They can see the information. They can come in here, mark leads as converted or not qualified. If it's not qualified, they can leave a reason. They can come in here. They can actually request a return. Maybe this was a fake lead and they can leave a return or submit a return. They can see all the notes. They can even see this in a Kanban view. They can filter. They have a dashboard where they can see their leads. And if you have your Stripe connected, they can add their card on file so you can auto charge your buyers. Simplifies the returning and updating the status of your leads so you don't have to manage all of these different Google Sheets. It's literally super simple. You come in here, you enable their portal, you invite them, and there you go, done. And let me show you quickly how it works to require different fields from your supplier. So if I go in here and I go to field mapping, you can see here we have a required column. So if I go in here, I can make at fault required, I can make has attorney required, injury description required. So now your suppliers have to send these fields for you to actually be able to accept those leads, right? And let me actually show you how easy duplicate detection is to set up. So you come in here, well, you want to match by the scope, whether it's campaign wide, per buyer, per supplier, the time window that you want. Maybe it's 30 days, maybe you want lifetime, and there you go. You have duplicate detection enabled for your campaign. And let me talk about TrustedForm really quick. So if you look up TrustedForm, here it is, active prospect. So TrustedForm, aka active prospect. You go in here and you want to set this up because when a lead fills out the form, TrustedForm actually records the lead filling out the form, generates a certificate that can be used to verify that that lead actually submitted the form, and you and the buyer can verify that that lead is legit. So what does that mean? That helps with compliance. If a lead ever complains saying, hey, I never filled out this form, you actually have a certificate that you can use to verify that they filled out the form. Or if your supplier sends you a TrustedForm certificate, doesn't match the information that that lead actually submitted, then it gives you kind of like a red flag there on the lead quality of your suppliers. And as a broker, when you tell your buyers that your leads are using TrustedForm, it helps build trust and makes you look a lot more professional and trustworthy. And if you're not using TrustedForm or you don't even know what it is, it actually lowers the trust of your lead vendors, makes you also not look as experienced or professional. So within Lead Distro AI, we have a TrustedForm integration. So we have a TrustedForm integration so that you can enable this and you can verify that those leads and certificates are legit. Here's the reality. Without a software that to help you manage, one buyer is manageable. Just send the leads to one, manually track, whatever. Once you get to 2, 3, 4, 5 buyers, it starts becoming a headache. Especially if you start working with all of these different suppliers. You want to make sure your operations are working efficiently, and you also want to maximize your profit. So without software, every new buyer equals more sheets, more jobs, more math, more manual math. With software, you can set your caps, your filters, your payout. Lead flow becomes a lot more easier to manage. Here's a reality. The brokers who wait until they're big enough for software are the ones who lose money they'll never get back. Because if you have this from day one, you have the right data and insights to maximize your profit and not lose money because you're running into duplicates, because you're running into bad leads that your suppliers are sending over that you can't even sell, or because you don't have an easy way to manage returns. You end up losing more money than saving money on not using a software like this. It's not about how big you are. It's about having the visibility and the control from day one. So if you want to try Lead Distro AI for free for 7 days, go to leaddistro.ai. You get real-time profitability tracking per supplier and buyer, automatic duplicate detection across all your suppliers. You can enforce certain fields as being required from your suppliers. You get a branded buyer portal that replaces all of those Google Sheets that you have to manually set up. You can track all of your caps, your filters, and automate all of the lead routing there. And you have TrustedForm compliance built in, so you can make sure that the leads that you're getting from your buyer are good quality leads. So again, go to leaddistro.ai. You can book a demo or start a 7-day free trial, and the link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, go join our free school community. We have 875 members in there. We have a bunch of resources. People are collaborating in here, dropping different opportunities for different industries. So you can come in here and network and get access to all of the free resources that we're dropping. And it's all completely free. And that link is in the description as well. And if you like this video and you want other performance marketing related videos, make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.